Hi everyone, Matt here with a deck tech on Sublime Sultai. Before I get started, I need to give a shout out to Kushiro MTG over on Twitter for the original deck list. The current form of the deck is very similar to his original one. The only change to the main deck that I made was he was playing one status statue, and I've swapped that out for a Casualties of War. And I like this change for a couple reasons, one of which is that Casualties is a really good catch-me-up card if we do fall behind. And I've seen a rise of Nissa on the ladder in a lot of different decks, and Casualties is one of the most punishing cards to play after an opponent resolves a Nissa. So other than that, it is the same as his original list. The way that this plays out is this is essentially a flash deck. One of the main ways that we're looking to win is to resolve a Night Pack Ambusher on the opponent's end step, and then protect it with some counter magic. We have 4 Mystical Disputes, 2 Negates, and then the spicy one is 3 Sublime Epiphany. I've been incredibly impressed with this card, and I think a deck like this is the right shell for it because we're likely to get the advantage of really using 4 of the modes on the card. And if you ever can copy a Night Pack Ambusher with this while countering a spell and drawing a card, it is very hard for the opponent to come back in that game. So a couple other things I do want to highlight. We have 3 Eliminates in the main deck. This is a great way to not fall too far behind the aggressive decks. And the fact that it can even hit a Teferi or a Narset is a really nice bonus. 2 Scavenging Ooze. This is one of my favorite cards, if not my favorite card from M21. Great way to deal with opposing Uros. A nice way to start building up a little bit of pressure on the board. It can also help you gain life if you're playing against an aggressive deck. And it can exile Elspeth Conquer's Death targets if you are playing against Ban. We also get to play some of the most powerful cards in Standard in 4 copies of Growth Spiral and 2 Uros of our own, which I really think is one of the things that draws me to the Sultai deck, because I don't want to miss out on having the powerful ramp and card draw effects of these cards. And we get 1 copy of Hydroid Krasis, just a really nice late game play to refill our hand. Other than that, we've got a couple Brazen Borrowers. If the opponent is able to slip something underneath our counter magic, this is a great way to slow them down. And 4 Shark Typhoon in the main, again, goes really well with our flash game plan. It is also nice that we can use this on the opponent's turn after resolving a Night Pack Ambusher. So a lot of great synergy in this deck. And moving over to the sideboard here, I have mostly black spells in the sideboard. Another nice thing about being in Sultai versus Simic is that the black sideboard cards give us a lot of game against a bunch of different decks. So we have 3 Duress for the other control decks, 3 Aether Gusts. I mean, this card is just so well positioned right now. A lot of mono green on the ladder. This works really well against that. But also you can bring it in against the red decks, and there's so many blue-green white or blue-green-black decks, or just straight Simic, that this card's really good. 2 Noxious Grasps, 2 Cry of the Carnariums, excellent against the sacrifice decks. Then we have a couple different sweepers. We've got 3 Extinction Events and 1 Ritual of Soot, again against the aggressive decks. And finally, the newest card I've added to the sideboard is 1 Thought Distortion, just because against Bant and Temur Reclamation, this card is just absolutely insane. If you resolve this, it is very hard for the opponent to come back from that. So that is Sublime Sultai. I hope that you will give the deck a try and let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one.